Hello. I just wanted to make a quick update video about what's happening in my life and I guess where I'm heading toward. I didn't have much time to create videos, at least structured videos, about anything specific. I've been consumed with so much stuff that I just got too busy. So I don't really have time to upload videos that frequently. So I figured, why not just upload casual videos so that I could have something to look at later on in my life and I guess just look at my progress or lack thereof and be embarrassed by how I used to look like. Anyways, um, as you can tell by the title of this video, I got into Facebook as a software engineer, thank God. Um, Before that, I was working at this company, startup. I don't really consider it a startup anymore, but DoorDash. Uh, I really liked it there. I thought DoorDash was definitely one of my dream companies, and I enjoyed working there. I worked there for a little over a year and a half, but I thought that it would be a good idea to make the transition to work at a much larger company like Facebook because I wanted to become a better engineer. And I feel like I can become a better engineer by working here in Facebook. Um, yeah, I got the offer a while back, like many months before the pandemic hit, the COVID-19 pandemic hit. I just was a little hesitant to join earlier because of different reasons. I really liked working in DoorDash, so I kept on putting off the offer, or not putting off the offer, but I just waited for some time before I decided to accept the Facebook offer. Um, but I decided to accept the Facebook offer because, like I said, I wanted to just become a much better engineer, and I think Facebook is a great company for that. Also, Facebook is huge. If you look at the numbers, I believe Facebook is over $600 billion of market cap, which is just gigantic. You can literally create $600 billion companies. Um, and if you mix them together, then you have Facebook. So you have a ton of different opportunities. You have opportunities to meet way more people. And there's a lot of entrepreneurial people here as well. So if I ever want to start a company later on, then by then I'll have developed enough friends here that I could potentially start a company with, or could be one of my early employees. I guess. Yeah, my experience of so the onboarding experience was interesting. So I got the offer way before the pandemic, like I said. So the actual interview was done in person, on site, in Menlo Park campus, the headquarters. But the onboarding, because I joined Facebook more recently, like in May 11, which is a little over 2 months, the onboarding experience was kind of weird because everything happened virtually. They shipped a MacBook as well as a backpack and an iPhone 11 Pro and some swags, which I don't really care about, and a mug that had the Facebook logo, which is nice. I just use it to drink water, but I'm not really a swag guy, I guess. But it was cool though, like I'm not gonna lie. It was pretty cool to open the package and see like a welcoming note with swag and whatnot. But yeah, like the onboarding was tricky because, like I said, it happened virtually. Um, all of the engineers have to do this thing called Bootcamp. So essentially, it helps us ramp up and get familiarized with the code base and different architecture and whatnot. I actually learned a lot from the bootcamp. I learned pretty much about like a lot of different technologies, frameworks, architecture, and so on and so forth, which is very helpful. Uh, and what's really interesting about this company is that, I guess, like similar to Google and other larger companies, a lot of the different technologies that we use are built in-house. So for example, like for iOS developers, we have this thing called Component Kit, which is unique to Facebook. I think it's open source, but not a lot of companies use it. We also have like native templates, which is not open sourced. And yeah, like it's very different in that if you work at I guess like a startup or a newer company, you're probably used to just using UIKit, Swift, and just develop apps like that. But here, like you have all kinds of different tools, frameworks, and everything else that are all built in-house. And what's really cool is that whenever you have questions, you could go to these Facebook groups. They're all internal to Facebook employees only, and ask questions there, much like Stack Overflow, but you get answered a lot quicker. Like in some cases, you get answered right away. And a lot of the people that answer questions are there just to literally answer questions. Like they're paid just to answer engineering questions. And a lot of the people in those forums are creators of React and Component Kit and other technologies, which is just really awesome. And yeah, like the fact that I can interact with people that know so much about React, React Native, Component Kit, whatever technologies that I'm going to be using, is just pretty fascinating. I never have to go to Stack Overflow. I've since the time I joined Facebook, I never have gone to Stack Overflow to get an answer to any of my questions. I never had to. In fact, I don't recall using Google that frequently because everything you need to know is already there in our internal tools, internal searches, and so on and so forth. And speaking of which, communication, we have our own internal platform. We don't use Slack. We use like Facebook, Workplace for Facebook. And we also, yeah, like it's just fascinating that so many things we do is built in-house. Another example is we don't use GitHub and we don't use Git. We use this thing called Mercurial. And we have our own, I guess, platform and infra that is very similar to GitHub. But after like developing for a couple of months, I feel like this is a lot better than GitHub. What else? Yeah, like a lot of internal tools, a lot of internal frameworks, things that are very specific to Facebook. Some people kind of get frightened by that because they feel like they're learning non-transferable skills, but I think a great engineer is not an engineer that knows a ton of skills that other companies use. A great engineer is someone that knows how to solve problems and can learn rather quickly. And so that's what I guess we should be optimizing for. Yeah, so overall, like, things have been great. I'm very, very thankful. Thank God that I'm in this position because I know that a lot of folks have been laid off, unfortunately, due to COVID-19. So if you've been laid off because of COVID-19, I'm really sorry about that. And I hope that you're able to find your next job soon. It's weird because I didn't want to celebrate my transition too much because I really felt bad for so many people that got laid off because of this pandemic that I sort of had this like guilt pleasure feeling. Not sure how to describe it. Like on one hand, I felt very happy, obviously, that I got into such an amazing company. Um, and on the other hand, I kind of felt bad for people that got laid off because of COVID-19. So, anyways, that's my update for now. I might make a video or two talking about my different strategies on how I prepared, but in the meantime, you can look at my other video that I guess I talked about how to prepare for data structures and algorithms portion of the interviews, which is pretty helpful. I mean, it got me an offer at all these great tech companies. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. I don't have LinkedIn. I don't have any other social media accounts except for this YouTube channel and I guess my Facebook account, which I almost never use. And also, like, I have an Instagram account that I only use for developing in Facebook, but I don't really have any social media accounts, which is odd. Yeah. I actually created Facebook account before joining Facebook. Like after I got the offer is when I created my Facebook account, which is weird. And even then, like, I never use my Facebook. Not because I'm against it, not because I don't like it, but because I just don't really use, I don't really use social media accounts that often. I do use Facebook for Facebook groups to check out what people are doing, but I never post. I just visit those different groups just to see what's happening in the world, but that's about it. I really just like to hang out with people in real life and just have fun. And I just don't have time to go on social media these days. Yeah, that's about it. That's my update. I'm gonna stop talking now. Goodbye.